and it sucks, and life is tough, and that's reality for like me and brothers in law. You know what I'm saying? And like every sheriff that's ever existed, every form of law enforcement and stuff like that, they are my brothers in law. We are not related. We're not involved in like marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not share. That's not going on there. You know, those contracts will not be formed, and they will not be legal. That all that stuff is signed under duress, because they are constantly trying to force people's will. They're trying to forge that. You know, they're trying to force people's will. They're trying to be antagonists and stuff like that, instead of just, you know, keeping your head up and your chin up and doing what you need to be doing, or calling people out for, you know, their bullshit. Because when they are in violation of the original laws of God and the Black Book and stuff like that, you know, that is a problem. You know what I'm saying? When they think like that, when they speak like that, it's called inbreeding. You know, they're trying to live up here, being involved in breeding, and that would lead to my death. That would lead to that person's death. That would lead to that human being's death, because they're trying to be sick in the head. They're trying to either carry botulism, salmonella. Um, you know, it's trying to be that. So human beings can't and should not be trying to live like that, because then they hop up like a big mutant fucking rat. You know, and they start displaying, you know, mutinous future features, you know, and that's the end. That's the end of it. That's you know, and then they created a world that's like fucking Mars and Nazi land. You know, what is formerly Nazi Germany. You know, they created that. You know, and they tried to carry on mutinous traits, and then they tried to hide. You know what I mean? And then we kept exposing them, and FBI Bones knows about that, because his cerebral cortex is God, the law. You know, always taking higher ground on the enemy. And what would happen with the Blitzkrieg stuff is they went, you know, fucking nutso with mutiny charges, and then they had no way to goddamn return, and then they couldn't share the grounds anymore, and they were using like stints to remove the dead. You know what I'm saying? They were actually physically hobbling around on a stint like that, trying to get away with human mutilation. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, and then they were doing that for like years in Blitzkrieg tanks. All right, and then they were messing with helium and the torture of people, and then they kept trying to take higher ground on people by embalming their flesh, you know, and torture